So I'm here today to show you how to make this Juliette Baby Blanket. It's a blanket that uses a Sedge Stitch. It's very beautiful. You can see how it's looking. And I'm just going to make a swatch of it, like a small section of it, to show you how to do this Sedge Stitch. The size of the blanket is 32 by 38 inches approximately, but if you want to make it bigger, you can just increase the amount of stitches you start with as long as it's in multiples of 3. Okay, so here's what you're going to need to make your Juliette blanket. You're going to need some of this worsted weight 4-weight yarn. This is Pound of Love in the color Antique White, but you can use whatever color you like. And most 4-weight worsted weight yarns, it's a baby blanket, so it doesn't have to be exactly a certain size, okay? And then I've got an eye hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter hook. You'll need a yarn needle for weaving in your ends, and you're going to need a pair of scissors for cutting, okay? So those are all the materials you're going to need. And the pattern is free on my blog, but I will put the link below for you, okay? So as I said before, this beautiful blanket uses a Sedge Stitch. And I'm not going to make the entire blanket for you. I'm just going to demo to you how to make this with the Sedge Stitch. And we start with a slip knot. So I wrap the yarn around twice and then I create my slip knot. And then we're going to start with chaining. I've got my eye hook and my 4-weight yarn, and we're going to get started chaining a multiple of 3. So I count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that's the initial foundation chain for my swatch. When I actually made the blanket, I had to chain many more stitches than that. And for mine, at the size that I made it, I ended up chaining 99. So to start, we're going to go into the second chain from the hook. That's the first chain, and this is the second. So we're going to go into the second chain. You can see there's 1, 2 there. And I'm going to put my yarn over because I'm going to do a half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. And I'm going to put into the same stitch there, I'm going to put a double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to skip 2 of the chains, and in the next chain we're going to put a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double. So we're skipping 2, skip 1, skip 2. I'm putting my thumb there so you can see this is the third one. So into this one we're going to do a single crochet, which just means we put the hook in, put the yarn over, and pull it through. A half double crochet, which means we're going to put the yarn over, put the hook in, pull it through, and go through all 3. And then we're going to do a double crochet. Yarn over, put it through the same stitch, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull it through 2, and then through 2. And then we're going to do this all the way around. We're going to skip 2, and in the next one, single crochet, half double crochet, all the way across to the end. So I'll demonstrate. So we're going to, that's where we did our stitch. So this is 1 stitch, 2 stitches, and in the third one, we're going to do a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. And then we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, a single crochet in the third one, a half double crochet in the same stitch, and a double crochet in the same stitch. Right? Then we're going to, I've got a tangle. Right, so then we're going to skip 2, and then we're going to do a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet, all into the same stitch. Skip 2, into the third one, single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. And then when we've got to the end, we're going to skip the last stitch there. And in the final stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. Okay, so when you turn your work, you're going to chain 1. And then what you're going to do is you're going to half double crochet and double crochet into the next stitch. And the next stitch is right there. Before you see this double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet from the previous round, there's right beside where you chained, we're going to do our half double crochet and our double crochet, okay? Right into this one. Half double crochet, because we've already got the chain 1, that's going to act as our single crochet, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to skip over the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then into this one, we're going to do a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. And then we're going to look at what we've got. And as you can see there, this was the previous round where we did the single crochet, the half double crochet, the double crochet. So we're going to skip over 2, 1, 2. You can see those 2 stitches right there, 1, 2, and into this one, which kind of makes a bit of a hole there for you. You can do a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. And then we're going to skip over those next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the next one, single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. And then we look again and we can see, you can see the previous one where we did the single crochet, the half double, and the double. We're going to skip over that, the double, the half double, and into that previous single. I like it because there's a nice little hole there for you to see. You stick your hook in there, you do your single crochet, and then in the same space, a half double crochet, and in the same space, a double crochet. And then we do the same. We skip 2, 1, 2, and into the third one. I like it because these ones don't have a gap and this one does. Don't do it into this gap. Do it into this gap right in front, right there. Single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. Okay, and we're at the end. So at the end, you can see we've got 2 stitches left. If you look, if you turn it, you can see 1, 2 stitches right there. We're going to skip 1, and in the last one, we're going to do a single crochet. Okay, and we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn. Okay, and now we're going to keep repeating that second row. We've chained 1, and now we're going to do a half double crochet and a double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, right there you've chained, and right there you've got that. Okay, so we're going to do a half double crochet in there and a double crochet in there, and then we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and in that first space right there, you can see it, we're going to single crochet, half double crochet in the same one, and double crochet. And then we're going to do the same as the previous row. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and there we have that nice little hole saying hello. In there you're going to do a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. We're going to skip 2, and in that next hole, single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. This is called the sedge stitch. Then we're going to skip 2 in that hole. There we go. Single, half double, and a double. And then we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and into that nice little hole there. single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet. Remember, you can always pause the video if I'm going too fast. Then we're going to skip one, and in that last one we are going to make a single crochet. And that's what you can see now, how our sedge stitch is working. And how you count the rows with the sedge stitch is because you'll see one is going this way, one is going that way, the next one's going this way, the next one's going to go this way. So you count 1, 2, 3, kind of zigzag up the rows. And I'll show you that on the big blanket. When you're counting, I think which is the best side to show you, this one. So here you see, what I did was I did actually do an edging on here, but you can see if you look, there's one there, one that's going up on the slope, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's how you count your rows when you're doing the sedge stitch, okay? So that was me showing you how to do this. For the actual blanket, you're going to use the 99 stitches across, okay? And you're going to be working 83 rows. So for row 84, once we've done 83, we've got 1, 2, 3 here. Once you've done another 80, then what we're going to do is we're just going to chain 1. This is the top of your blanket, right? We're going to chain 1, and we're just going to do a single crochet into each stitch across. So I like to just look like that, right? Make sure you're going into the top of each of the half double crochets and the double crochets and the single crochets all the way across the top. And I'll show you what it looks like when we get to the end. I like to do this trim just because the sedge stitch is kind of an uneven edge. So yeah, that you go into that gap there, just do 1 single crochet, 1 to the top of the double and the half double, and every time you come to a single, you're going to have that little gap, and that just kind of tidies the edge up for you. My yarn's not behaving, keeps wanting to roll towards me. Okay, so here we go. Of course, you'll be going across 99. Okay, we're going to cut that off, and we're going to weave in the ends, right? Right, so I'll show you weaving in the ends, just in case this is your first big project and you've never done weaving in the ends. Your yarn needle, and you just weave in the ends. I didn't leave a very long end. I like to usually go 3 different directions. So of course I didn't leave a very long end, did I? Anyway, there's 1. Then you can go in a different direction, weaving in and out, in and out. And then one more time. If your yarn gets too short, you can cheat by putting your needle through, weaving your needle through, pushing it down until just the eye of the needle is there, and then you can thread that eye. That's a little cheater trick. And then we cut that off. And then to do the bottom, to make it the same, because we've got all those nice little single crochets along the edge there, on the bottom we have to reattach our yarn. So to reattach our yarn, we just go into the bottom corner, and then we get our yarn and we pull it through just like that, and then we do a chain, and then we're just going to single crochet into all of the chains across the bottom there. Sometimes you have to look, just kind of randomly place them. But this tidies up the bottom then. Do one into the big space, one into the where you did your double, one and half double crochets. All the way across. If you remember, there's 3 stitches into every 3 hedge stitch section. That was a half double. Here's a half double. And there we go. And into the end. There. And then I'm going to cut it off. Longer end this time. And then we can weave that in too. So that makes a nice edging, right? Do you agree? That makes it nice and straight at the bottom, nice and straight at the top. They match. They've got the nice V's showing there. And you've got your beautiful Sedge Stitch blanket. It's called the Juliette Blanket because my nephew had a beautiful baby and they called her Juliette. So this is for Juliette. Okay, thank you for following along, and please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell if you want notifications to follow Carroway Crochet here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today. And this is what your beautiful Juliette Baby Blanket will look like when it's finished. Thank you so much for watching.